Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Uh, Welcome all the participants and good afternoon to the next session, data visualization with Seaborn. So now I request our resource person, Kute sir, to start over this session, continuation
Thank-
with the data visualization.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just a minute, I'll share my
Yes,
presentation
yes.
again. Yeah. Sir, is it visible?
Yes, visible, sir.
Okay, okay.
Voice is also audible.
Thank you, sir. So, good afternoon and welcome back. We have started with the data visualization in the morning session. I will continue this fit with advanced data visualization with a novel, different kind of the graphs which are used for data visualization. Maybe some graph that we already seen, we'll see in some different way how they are useful, how they can be interactive. That we are going to see in this practical session of data visualization using Seaborn. Seaborn specially used for data frame based visualization. So just like in previous session, we have seen about the array and list based visualization. So here Seaborn focuses on the visualization on the data frame. So let's see. So in the world of analytics, the best way to get insight by visualizing a data. That's what we have seen. And this data can be visualized by multiple different ways. Common ways we already seen. Bar graph, pie chart, or the histograms are there. This is possible again in this part also. But can I make a combination? Can I make some more interactivity? Can I make the combination of categorical context variable there? And then we can make use of it. So to analyze the set of data using Python, we make use of matplotlib. That's we have seen. So implemented using 2D basic plotting library here, which we apply. Likewise, Seaborn is also one of the visualization library in Python. It's built on the top of Matplotlib. So the functionality which is present for Matplotlib is applicable to the Seaborn also. But some advanced level, some more applicable kind of graphs, charts can be visualized with the help of the Seaborn library now. Now, if you compare these two, okay, when to use Seaborn and when to use Matplotlib. So it summarized that if Matplotlib try to make easy things easy and hard things possible, okay, easy thing easy and hard thing possible. Seaborn tries to make well-defined set of hard things easy too. Yes, well-defined set of hard things can also be created easy from the Seaborn. But again, it's a part of practice. You must be a good analyzer, data analyzer, and so to be that, so you have to make use of this combination of the graphs visualization technique so much effectively. So what Seaborn does? Seaborn helps two major problems faced by Matplotlib, like default Matplotlib parameters. See, many things we have added. We have added extra lines there to add the legend, to add the names of it, like to add the grid, like all extra lines we added. So that lines are reduced. Okay, that can be used also, but they are reduced by making use of multiple functions. Some functions contains internal ability to have these things as a part of parameters, like that function itself contain many parameters, 10, 20, 15 parameters are there. You have to pass that all the parameters in a single line. So the number of extra functions which are required in Matplotlib are not there in Seaborn. And second, working with data frames. So almost every function or visualization in Seaborn works well with data frame. You have to pass a parameter. I am going to take this data from this data frame. Okay, so that you have to pass. And so it will take this data from the data frame and will visualize the data accordingly. So these two advantages are there. Matplotlib parameter we can use by default in Seaborn, and it works specially on the data frame. Here also I'll show few of the data frame, not importing them from external source. Internally, Seaborn contains some data frames already. I'll explain that first, and then we will use that in the visualization. So just give keen attention here, because now we are going to have some another step ahead of visualization methods here. So as Seaborn complements and extend Matplotlib, the learning curve is quite gradual. If you know Matplotlib, we are already halfway through Seaborn. Yes. So common ideas are there which are used as it is Seaborn, but interactivity is good. The color combinations, font combinations, or the themes which are used in Seaborn, they are more interactive. Okay. So what exactly features are present? So Seaborn, as I told, is built on the top of Python's core visualization library of Matplotlib. It means to serve as a complement and not as a replacement. Remember. So this thing we need to note. It is not a replacement. It is the combination. We can use Matplotlib, we can use Seaborn also. However, Seaborn comes with some very important features. See, the features which are enlisted over here are the common and most important feature that are present for Seaborn. Built-in theme for styling Matplotlib graphics. Themes and graphics, they are something different and more stylish appearance is present in Seaborn. Seaborn can also be used for visualizing univariate and bivariate data. Both univariate data like the list and tuple or array we have seen, that is univariate, single dimension is a bivariate means two dimensions are there, or we are having a tabular data. So to visualize that, Seaborn is having inbuilt support for the same. And finding in fitting and visualizing linear regression model also. Okay, if time is there, I'll show you that part, linear regression visualization. So how to draw a line which will fit all the point which are presented in the linear format on the two-dimensional plane. That also we'll see if time is there. This is possible. Linear regression directly on the graph can do. Plotting statistical time series data. Yes, time according to time is something changing. Time, it contains not only the year or the month, it will contain the hour, minutes, and seconds also. And accordingly, that if you want to visualize, that abilities are given, also given in the Seaborn. And Seaborn works well with NumPy and Pandas data structure also. Pandas series and data frame data structures, or NumPy's array data structures, or Core Python's list tuple data structures, or Core Python dictionary data structure also. It works well. Okay, it comes with built-in themes for styling Matplotlib graphics. That's also a good, great one. In most cases, you'll still use Matplotlib for simple plotting. The knowledge of Matplotlib is recommended to tweak Seaborn's default plots. So learn Matplotlib first, and then you'll go for the visualization using the Seaborn library here. So to install that, some common functions, commands are there. If you're using Anaconda, if it is not present in Anaconda, Anaconda is providing one command prompt. So you can use conda install Seaborn. And for pip installer, pip is a Python's own installer. I use by using pip install Seaborn. And some dependencies are there. So at least you should have Python 3.4 plus. NumPy should be present in your system. SciPy should be present. Panda should be present. Matplotlib should be present. So whatever packages you have seen till this point in this FDP, all packages are required in advanced visualization using Seaborn. Okay, now let's see the practical implementation and what different kind of the graphs are present here in Seaborn. That also we will see. Okay, so just a minute. Let's go to the practical part of it. I'll just move to Jupyter Notebook, and here I'll create a new file. So already the file which is present is containing univariate visualization. Just a minute. We'll create a new file, and there we'll see the Seaborn's visualization method. So yeah, so create a new file. Okay, one thing to note, as I told, is data frame based visualization is there. It means that the data frame we have to create or we have to import, but internally the Seaborn library is providing some data frames by default present in it. Okay, so we'll use that one. Okay, so it's opening. I'll use internal data frame. I'll show you first internal data frames, or internal some data sets are there. See, most of the machine learning library, data analytics library internally contains some default data set given to you, or they are providing some functions also by which we can create a randomized data set also. But we'll not go for that. It will be somewhat complicated right now. We'll use the default data sets inside Seaborn. Okay, so just like NumPy, we use NP. For Matplotlib, we use PLT. For Pandas, we use PD. So for Seaborn, we use SNS. So import it. Import Seaborn as SNS. Okay, so SNS is a short name that I use for the Seaborn. So as I told, some default data frames, data sets are already present inside the Seaborn. That list I will show, and I can use one of the data sets from them. I'll start with some of the popular data sets first, and then we'll go for changing data sets as per the requirement of the programs are there. Okay, so just a minute. Okay, let's see the data sets name first. SNS dot SNS package name dot. If you write get dataset names, so this function will list you all the data sets, all the data frames basically which are present in it, in this data set over here. You can check it out. Out of it, I'll be making some few of them as combo. I'll make use of iris. Okay, we'll start with iris first. MPG, Titanic, tips, exercise. This data set I will show you today how to use it and how to perform operations. Before I'll explain the meaning of data set. See, default data set. So in machine learning also, if you want to apply some algorithms, so default data sets are available with you. If you are knowing it, don't import that in CSV file. Internally, this list of data sets are present. Out of it, one of the data set we'll use, and then we'll go ahead with that. So let's start with the simple data set, which is iris. Iris, as I told yesterday also, which is one of the most popular data set in the world of data science. What it contains, that I will explain first, and then we'll visualize that. So load that data set first. Let's say our df data frame is equal to sns dot load data set, and as a part of parameter to this function, I need to pass the name of the data set here, iris, and you can check it. This is your iris data set. See, iris is actually a flower, and it contains sepal and petal. Okay, petals are there, sepals are there. Its length and width decide what kind of iris flower, what is the species of it. So three species are there: Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. They are present. Sepal length, sepal width, petal width are the continuous variables present in the data set there. You can check it out. This is your data frame that you got. You can check the total number of entries are 150 and 5 columns are there. Out of it, first 4 columns are continuous variable. They are containing value in the floating point or the number, full numbers are there. Okay. Okay. If I describe that, can check. See, 4 elements are numerical. You can say they're distributions of it. Okay. We start sepal length start from 4.3 to 7.9. Sepal width start from 2 to 4.4. Petal length start from 1 to 6.9. Petal width start from 0.1 to 2.5. Like that. This is how the data distribution present for numerical data I'm talking about. And one categorical data is there, which is the output variable species is there. So according to the sepal length width, petal length width, the species type, basically type of that flower is defined. That's called a species. So if you check the species there, see df of species. So the species, I think, so we have to know how many species are there. So if you want to identify how many means unique values are present, that we can find by one method. So let's import numpy as np, and inside the numpy, I have a function unique, which is just to find the unique values present inside this, distinct or unique values present in it. We have dot unique. See, so which are that? Setosa, versicolor, virginica. Only 3 possibilities are there, and based on these dimensions of sepal and petal, they have identified, means this is a Setosa iris, this is a versicolor iris, or virginica iris. Okay, so those who are knowing this data set, they might be knowing the meaning of it. 150 entries, out of it 50 entry belongs to Setosa, 50 belongs to versicolor, 50 belongs to virginica. Okay, like dimensions, just if you compare that with dog and cat. So I just mentioned the dimensions or properties or attribute of dog and cat. So these are the attribute. This is first dog, second dog, third attribute are dog. This is dog. Next is cat. Again, next is cat. Next is horse. Next is rabbit. Like this dimension. Everyone is a different dimension. All dogs don't look same. So their features are given, and according to class is given as of exactly same way. The species of iris flower are defined based on their features: sepal, petal, length, and width. Okay, and 3 possible outcomes are there. 50 Setosa's dimensions are taken, 50 versicolor are taken, and 50 virginica are taken here. This is what the data set is present. Now let's go with this. You can check the shape of it. 150 rows and 5 columns are there present in it. Okay. Now let's start with the first kind of the plot. Just a minute, it's taking some time to respond. Okay, let's go with the first type of the plot that we use here, and we'll start with the univariate distribution. Univariate distribution, like the distribution of the data which is done for single column only. For single column only, I want to show distribution. So many functions which are used for univariate distribution, just like histogram, especially is for univariate distribution. Fine, only a single column I want to take and I want to show it. So to do this one, we'll show the histogram first, univariate distribution, and then other graphs are basically used for bivariate distributions only. For univariate, much more are not there, but there are some extra ability given to the histogram in Seaborn that we will see. So histogram represents the data distribution by forming beans with the range of data and then drawing the bar showing the observation, total count of observation falling in each of the bean. Okay. So for this data set, if I want to draw the histogram, so how it will be drawn? So there is no any function called as hist present over here. I'm having a function called as dist plot. Let's see. So SNS dot dist plot, and out of 4, I'll choose one of them. Let's say df of petal length. See, df of petal length. This is your histogram for the element petal length. Petal length. So in petal length, you can see how many elements are total. 150 elements are there. Out of it, from 0 to some range. It's, range is not shown here. We can add it by using ticks or by using beans also. Beans parameter also present to this one. This is how we can use it. Histogram for spatial single element, single univariate data, okay, which contains only single element. We can use dist plot for that. You can check it out. And here there is one more parameter called as KD I can pass. It's called as kernel density estimation. This is by default its value is false there. If I want to add it, so I just can make it true, and accordingly we can perform the operations of plotting it. Here also, so this is what the plot. Histogram can be shown exactly the same way that we have followed. But here I pass single element, single column from the data frame. So accordingly we can change. I want this one, or I want sepal length. See, this is sepal length. You can see this now. Okay, so 4 to 5, not 4 to 5, different ranges are there, just can observe. And beans can also be applied. Accordingly, the histogram can be seen for univariate distribution. But under it, some modification are possible. As we can use more parameters, there is a concept called as kernel density estimation. KDE, it's a way which I made false over there. It is the way to estimate the probability density function. So those who know probability density function for a continuous variable, if you want to see this, so we can use the KDE parameter here. It is used for non-parametric analysis. Setting the histogram flag to false will show only the KDE plot, and if you make KDE equal to true, so it will show the kernel density estimation there. Okay, so I'll make KDE true, or I'll make histogram false. Sorry, just a minute. I'll make histogram false first. See, oh, what's the problem? His parameter is not there. Fine. KDE will make, and just combination. They have modified it. Now see, this plot is showing the kernel density estimation, where high probability of data is there. Can check. Starting with lower one, then here it is increasing somewhat. Highest value is present over here in this range 5.5 to 6.5, and then it's decreasing down. See, this plot is a KDE plot. Probability of having the value maximum in that range will be shown by ups and downs of it. Now see, only single up bell curve is there. Bell curve is actually ideal value that we can say. Petal length. Now see how it is there. This is somewhat higher, then lower. Again it's coming up. Again coming down. So variations in the data that can be seen by the smooth curve. It's called as KDE plot. So histogram and KDE plot, all or both, I can plot on a single plane by using this method, just adding one parameter to it, KDE, which is not possible there in the matplotlib. Now see this one. KDE is equal to false. Fine, that's what we can use. So combinations of both, that's what we can do, and we can just check it out how it is possible. Okay, this is a single, means actually histogram is the only plot which is used for univariate distribution. And other plot, always they are required at least two parameters there. So let's start with the bivariate distribution. So second, bivariate distribution is used to determine the relation between two different kind of variables, obviously, which are in the array format or in the list format or in the series format. So here we keep the idea of series now. Now onwards, we'll use the data frame specially. This mainly deals with the relationship between two variables and how one variable is behaving with respect to other variable. See, in case of machine learning, data modeling, we are basically focusing on dependency. So this variable dependent on that, this variable dependent on output, this variable dependent on output, or output dependent on that. How the dependencies are there? What range they are having maximum? What exactly all every sort of connectivity which machine learning is containing, we can show using Seaborn package libraries here. So two variables or two variables with one variable or two variable with another two variable, their connectivity with respect to each other can be shown by using bivariate distribution graphs. Now let's see the first plot, that is called a joint plot. Joint plot. Joint plot creates a multi-panel figure that projects the bivariate relationship between two variables and also univariate distribution on axis of each variable. It means that think about the combination of histogram and scatter plot. Histogram is used for univariate and scatter plot is for bivariate distribution. So to allow that one, we will be making use of a joint plot. Now let's see the joint plot for this and check out the output. SNS dot joint plot. Two parameter we have to pass here. One parameter on x-axis, one parameter on y-axis. Fine. So on x-axis, let's say petal length. Okay. On y-axis, let's say petal width. Okay. Okay, this is okay. But from which data frame we have to take it? That we have to mention. And this parameter is compulsory for all the plot which are used for bivariate or multivariate distribution, multivariate analysis here. So that parameter is data is equal to, what's the name of your data frame? DF. So from DF, X side we have petal length and Y side we have petal width. This is the joint plot. Somewhat interesting. Just decrease the size of it. You can see this. Joint plot is the combination of histogram and the scatter plot. So at actual planes, we can see it's a scatter plot. Here on x-axis we have the petal length, y-axis we have petal width. Okay, and their data we can see distribution of them here. Complete group element are there. Maybe this class is completely separated. Maybe we will see that one also. Complete scatter plot, one against the other, and you can see the right and top means on x-axis or y-axis, just inverse of them, we can see the histogram of that particular data. So histogram of petal length you can see here, histogram of petal length, and histogram of petal width you can see here on the right hand side, petal length on top, histogram. And you can observe one thing, there is no value present in between for both. If I project this here, so no values are then. If I project this here, so this exactly this area is not containing any value. That's why this value is empty here. On this angle also they are empty. Fine. And maximum number of elements are lying in this range for this area also, for this area also, for petal length also, for petal width also. So all the direction, everything is utilized by this method. Top, bottom, right, left, center, so everything is utilized. So by this we can have two plots, two joints at a time, where it is showing the histogram also and showing the scatter plot also at the same time. Okay, so just you have to mention the parameter, x parameter, y parameter, and the data frame from which you are going to take it. Okay, like that, can use it there. Now the extension to that, we are having a plot called as KDE plot. KDE plot. Now the type of it can also be seen by this method. Let's see. I'll just make the change in the kind of it. So just copy from here. And now I will apply the kernel density estimation to this parameter. Data is equal to df, comma, kind is equal to kde. See this. Again, I'll decrease the length. Yeah. See this. Instead of histogram, I got KDE plot now, where the high distribution of data is present here, where the lower is present here. Okay. Here high again is decreasing, again increasing, again high distribution data is here, and then it's decreasing down slowly. Fine. And where highest number of elements are present here, there we can see this high intensity of colors. Not intensity actually, crowd that we can find here. And this also, KD means instead of histogram, I want a KDE plot. So you can find a kind of it. What kind of plot we require on the right axis or on the top axis? So we require KDE plot. So accordingly, where high distribution of data is there, where the highest distribution is there, we can find by this particular method to apply the parameter of kind is equal to KD present here. Even there is one more parameter that kind we can use called as hex. Hex bean plot we call it as. Again, just like heat map, again revise the heat map. So in this area where the dark color combination is there, their highest number of element are present. Then with lighter again small number of element, again lighter again smaller number of element. Lightest smallest number of element are present there. Check this out. So here we can find this area is completely white. Correct. It means that on this side also and this side also there is nothing present in it. That's why it is completely white. And here high probability is there. Here high probability, the highest count are there. That's why it is completely black. So heat map visualization technique is this hex bean, because hexagon are shown to are used to show this particular data, and according to the intensity of colors we can find where highest number of element are there and where the lowest number of element are present. Intensities can be seen. So type is I just mentioned hex, KD or hex plot like that. So just inverse, just connected to each other, petal length, petal width, I can plot it, and any other parameter can also be seen using this plot. Fine. Yes. Now let's go for pairwise relationships. Pairwise. So data sets under the real-time study contain many variables. Obviously, not only 2, 3, 4, 5, it can contain 10, 20, 30, 100, 400, any number of variables as input there. So in such cases, the relation between each and every variable should be analyzed. Correlation can be checked. There is statistical methods are there, as I told about Pearson correlations, Spearman, Candle, different methods are present there. But how to visualize it? So to visualize that, we have to use a pairwise plot to perform operations. So plotting bivariate distribution, that is n against 2, combinations are required. If I have, for example, 4 by 4 are present, 4 features are there. So that 4 against the same 12 plots will be there. 1 against 2, 1 against 3, 1 against 4. Okay. Again, 2 against 1, 2 against 3, 2 against 4. Like 3, 3, 3, 3, 4 combinations are there. So this is called as a pair plot. So to plot multiple pairwise bivariate distribution data set, we have to use the pair plot for this. Pair plot. So in our case, we are having 4 different graphs, 4 different inputs, continuous input I'm talking about. So 4 into 3, 12 different plots can be seen in single plane by using a same simple function of pair plot. Now let's see how to do this one. So pair plot is containing many different kind of parameters there. I'll show that parameters, but how to use it, that also we'll talk about. So there are some parameters that I have to use. So let's see SNS dot pair plot for data frame here. Dot, okay, I'll just increase the size again. See, data frame. I pass directly and I'll check what happens. Now see this one. Pair plots. How many parameters? 4. 4 numerical data elements are there. Okay. So see, this is sepal length. Again, sepal length, but it is showing its histogram at the diagonal part. We can change diagonal part also. Diagonal by default contains a histogram of its own. because in diagonal will contain same element again the same element. So it shows the histogram. But now let's look at this part. It is petal width against the sepal length. Petal width against length. You can see this one. This is already we have seen in the first plot of joint plot there. Okay, here again, this one is sepal width against petal length. Fine. Petal length against sepal width is this. Inverse graph is there. Can just, if you mirror it, so you can get this particular idea. So above diagonal, below diagonal, they are exactly mirror graphs are there. Fine. Pair plot. Just require parameter df. So whatever number of numerical element are there, against that, against the other parameter you can see are present. See, n into n minus 1. That number of plots. Actually 16 are there. At diagonal, we are having only histogram for the respective element present. Histogram of respective element present there. Now, in SNS, there is a function called as set style. I can set the style. Means, as I told in the feature, there are many themes are there. So styles are present by which you can make use of this set style, and you can change the theme also. Let's use the style ticks. Many styles are there. We need to go. We need to check the documentation of it. Now you can see style has changed a bit. You can check it. It was containing a border in the black color. It's getting white color now. For all, no? Here also. Fine. So this method we can use. And now let's add few more parameters to it. So to the data frame, now see, data set again. We have sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and last column is species. Now I want to highlight these species. Okay, out of it, which species is versicolor, which is virginica, and which is setosa. I'm going to highlight it. Okay, categorical output variable there. It's very great analysis that we can do. View parameter you have to pass. View. And view is species. It's taken from the data set itself. Now see this one. Now the categorical variable will be highlighted with different colors, different categories with different colors. See this. Is it? Here you can observe it. Blue one are setosa. So these are the setosa. The orange one are the versicolor. Have I used legend? No. Directly they are coming there. Even I have not given the color also. I want to apply this color to this color. No. Directly it's taking that. This is what parameter that we have passed in matplotlib. They are not required here. Okay. Versicolor. See. And green are the virginica. For every parameter where the perfect clustering is there, perfect grouping is there, you can check. Almost great perfect grouping is possible. Here also good grouping is there. Complete group is different. This is one group, another group. Fine. Check this. How? Pair plot. And out of it, which are the perfect clusters which exactly create a groups separately that we can find. See here, there are some mixture of elements. Mixture of element are there. Here also some mixture of element that we can find here. Orange are there in between. Here also some mixture. Here mixture. Here not much, but it's there. Here there's a decision boundary you can see. Here also no mixture, but here below some element are present. But still it's okay. Perfect clusters, perfect group of element are there. So it will be easy to predict when the new flower is coming. It is going in which category. Now after applying that, you can identify that is it possible to apply the classification algorithm onto it or not. Yes, it is possible. Actually, this data is very standard. That's why all classification, even clustering algorithms are also perfectly working on this data. But see this 4 by 4, and fifth element is also there, which is called a species. We show the output like this species. Okay, and in the diagonal, what kind of plot you require, that also we can specify here. Diagonal by default KD is there now. So let's just diagonal plot, diagonal kind is equal to KDE. It's already containing KDE there. Or we can use hex. Wait a minute. Too much data. This KDE plot. Or I can use hex at diagonal. So this pair plot. Okay, so it's not shown there. Let's use KDE there. Maybe data distribution is not great and not up to the mark for KDE plot. Sorry, for Higgs boson plot. That's what it's not showing there. So let's use KDE at the diagonal that we can use. Okay, fine. And if I want to change the colors, so that color combinations means this is a default color combination used over here. If I want to add another different kind of combination here, so there's a parameter called as palette. Different kind of palettes are there. Let's see, hustle palette here. So the color that we have seen, it will be taken from this palette. Palette is a set of colors. From that set only sequentially the colors are taken. Now see, oh, not changed. Okay, they are changed. Sorry. Different color combinations are now used over here. It's using pink, green, and blue now. Check it. So that palette parameter also we can pass. With this, we can change the styles. We can change the color combinations of the data, which we can see here. This is what the pair plot is used. Okay, so when multiple different numerical element are there, one categorical output, generally classification algorithm contain this kind of idea where we can use that, remember. So the scatter plot, Higgs boson plot, KDE plots are used to analyze the continuous variable under study. Okay, continuous variable means all they are continuous. Now I want to analyze the categorical variable. See, categorical categories are there as I explained yesterday. Here we are having species as a categorical variable there. In matplotlib, categorical variable analysis is somewhat difficult. It means maximum of them are basically used for performing the continuous variable analysis there, but we are going to use categorical variable. So these plots are not suitable for categorical variables. So when we are having one or both variable under study, under input are categorical, then two different kind of plots can be applied: strip plot and swarm plot. Strip plot and the swarm plot, so which are used to show the data in categorical format. So when you talk about the strip plot, it is used when one of the variable under study is categorical, one of the variable. So basically we focus on one variable should be categorical, and it represents the data in sorted order along with any of the axes there presented. Let's see the strip plot now. So you can just check the output of it. See, strip plot, SNS dot strip plot. And similar kind of parameter where we have to pass over here, like x is equal to petal length and y is equal to petal width. Okay, and data is your data frame. Just a minute, what's missing? What's the error here? Petal, oh, sorry, spelling is missing. L-E-N-G-L-E-N. Yes, strip plot. See, this strip plot, it is just like the plot that we are used as a scatter plot, correct? See this, the strip plot will be shown in this particular area. Scatter plot is there, but what I focus on, I want to have the data in categorical format, one categorical, another continuous. So now I want to check on x-axis, I'll put categorical variable, that is species. Now see, this is the exact idea of the plot that we use is a scatter plot here. Now see, species, output value categorical. Now see, species, setosa, all values of the petal width are plotted here. They are within this range. I think 0.2 to 0.8 something for setosa. For versicolor, these values are in this range, completely separated. See, setosa values are less, for versicolor somewhat larger, and for virginica, again more high ranges are there to it. See, green color. It's called a strip plot. All the data distribution simply are shown. On x-axis, I put the categorical variable. On y-axis, I put the continuous variable. But if I change this one, I'll put y-axis here, x-axis here. Now see, in this way it will be shown. It's in y-axis will have categorical variable. So element of setosa for petal length are present over here in this case. And here for versicolor, these are for the virginica. Few things, see, I have not given the x label, y label, they're automatically taken. See, species is here, petal width is here. Labels are not given. Colors are not given. Colors are automatically taken. Matplotlib, if you don't give color, it will by default every plot will be taken as blue color. Remember, so these things are automatically taken over. This is a strip plot. One continuous variable against another categorical variable that can be seen by this particular method. Okay, there is one parameter that I can pass to this function is called a jitter. Jitter means the deviation that we are having here. The deviation we can remove. You can see deviations are there. So whatever values are there, that will be present on the same line. So that jitter we have to remove. So to remove the jitter, I'm having a parameter here, jitter equal to false. Now see, you can identify the range now from here to here. Versicolor, this is the range. So whatever values are same, they are overlapping now. They are not separated. Overlapping. And again, if you want to separate perfectly in the length, so we'll be having another different kind of plot, which is called as a swarm plot. Swarm plot. So another option which we can use for jitter to swarm plot. So exact parallelly the value will be distributed. So we can find how many elements are there in that particular length also for a specific categorical variable. So we'll be using a swarm plot for that. Let's see the swarm plot now. SNS dot swarm plot. X-axis will put again species, categorical variable, and on Y-axis we'll be having a petal length, and from where I taken? From data frame. Now see swarm plot. All counts are shown. Means for example, at this point, there may be 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 elements are there. You can count it here. At this point, 3.01 element is there, 3.12 are there, 3.23 are there, then here, like swarm. So literal meaning of swarm is actually shown in the output there. It's called as a swarm plot. Okay. So one continues against another categorical variable. Many such graphs are there. Distribution can be seen. Now, the last plot that we have seen in the Matplotlib was the box plot. Okay. So box plot is a convenient way to visualize distribution of data through their quartiles. Quartiles. Okay. Those who are not knowing quartiles, I'll just explain the meaning of it when you see the graph of it. This is basically used to decide whether you require normalization of the data or not. Okay, or outliers are present there or not, or the distribution of data is present. Whether the data is having Gaussian distribution, that is normal distribution or not, that we can find with the help of the box plot. Okay, so box plots are usually have vertical lines extending from boxes which are termed as whiskers that we will see here. And these whiskers indicate variability outside the upper and lower quartiles. Upper and lower quartiles. Is it going above or below of it? Hence, the box plots are also termed as box and whisker plot or whisker and box diagram. That's what we have seen already. And most important thing, I use to see the two purposes are there for box plot. First thing is that we have to check distribution of data. Okay, is median is at the center of the data, or is variations are there? When the variations are there for median, obviously you can find it's possible to have outliers in the data set. And second is to detect the outliers and remove the outliers. Removing not possible, but to detect the outliers, the element which are far away from the crowd, that detection is possible with the help of the box plots here. Now let's see the box plot, and we'll have again on x-axis the categorical variable, and y-axis will have the continuous variable here. So let's see that box plot. X-axis we have the species, and y-axis will have, let's say, sepal length, and which data I'm using? DF. See, yes, for Setosa, data distributions are shown here. Setosa, minimum value is this, maximum value is this. Versicolor, sepal length maximum. Minimum value is this for sepal length, for versicolor, remember, and maximum is this, and for Virginica this. You can observe that. Now, as you are changing the length of sepal length, so categories are changing. For Setosa, different range, versicolor, different range, Virginica. If their length are they are overlapping completely, then classification not possible. This is the ideal classification kind of data set is there. There are some deviation differences are present. that we can find. Now, what is quartile? Now see, the center part, this is center line which is shown over here, is a median of all, median, middlemost element. Middlemost element means after sorting all the element, which element is coming at center. After sorting, which element will come at the center is called as the median. And if two elements are there, their mean is called as median. Because in even numbers are there, the two numbers will be at the center. So their mean is called as median. Fine. And okay, they are the range where it's expanding. And this box is showing one thing. See, this line is the median of values from 0 to 50%. This is the median of value from 0 to 50%, and this is the median of value from 50 to 100%. And this is the median of all values. So the median of 0 to 50% is called as first quartile, that is 25% quartile. And the median of center 50% value to 100% value is called as the third quartile, that is 75% values. And second quartile, that is 50% value, is this median. So distribution of data, how it is exactly present, that we can find by this method. You can see its variations are there. And outliers, this is outlier, which is far away from the crowd. So in Virginica category, there is one element which is sepal length is containing one outlier here. If I want to remove that outlier, small method is there. Don't go for any critical methods. If the values of Virginica for, sorry, sepal length for Virginica are below 5.5, below 5.5, so remove that values. Directly you can apply the condition. Boolean filter. Basically we apply Boolean filter applied, daylight will be deleted. When they deleted, outliers will be removed. So outlier detection will be done by that, and you can identify where the highest range is present, lowest or highest range. So this is lower outlier, higher outlier will be shown above. So if you check petal length, see here outliers are there, many are there, higher and above, higher and lower, both outliers are there. And if you check petal width, here also two outliers are there. See, complete variations are there. So perfect data set is there, which is for classification. If they are up, down, and some many overlapping are there, that cannot consider. They are the input variables present. So they are completely separate. That's why a classification algorithm can perfectly work on this kind of the data set that what we can find by using this box plot here. Fine. So that's the ideas of box plot. Now box plot can be converted into another different kind of plot called as violin plot. So violin plot name is given because it's look like a violin. That's why its name is called as violin plot. Okay, let's see that violin plot here. So the combination of box plot with KD. Yes. Kernel density estimation. It's called as the violin plot. Okay. So these plots are easier to analyze and understand the distribution of the data, how data is distributed in that also we can find easily. And from this onwards, I'll be changing my data set. Data set's name is tips. That tips data set, we will go ahead, we'll import it. For the data set actually contain the information related to the tips given by customer to the restaurant or the waiter. Okay, and we'll use the violin plot for this kind of data. So first of all, we have to import that tips data set. We'll talk about it and then go for df is equal to tips and check this. See, so total bill of the customer and the tip given by the particular customer to the waiter, and sex of that customer, male or female, smoker, where he was a smoker or not, the day on which he has visited, time when he has visited, again means for dinner or lunch or breakfast, and total number of people who were there. Okay, like that the data set is present. Now I want to visualize this data. Let's go for the violin plot first. Let's have a violin plot which I can draw. Now I'll draw day against the total bill. Day against the total bill. Wait a minute. So SNS dot violin plot. X-axis I'll have day. So day maybe 7 days are there. Maybe I don't know how many are there. So day I'll take on x-axis, and on y-axis I'll take total bill, total underscore bill, and data set is important to note. Data is equal to df. See the violin plot. KD and box plot. Their combinations are only 4 days are there: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now see, you can observe that on Thursday, maximum bills are within this range, 10 to 20. Here, more are there. So according to their width, we can identify what's the capacity that they carry. Internally, we can see the whisker is present. That is a box. Dot show the median of all the values. You can see Saturday, highest bill were paid Saturday, and then Sunday, and then Thursday, and then Friday are there. So where the width is higher for the violin, there this is a range where highest amount of bills are there. Distribution of that bill highest are there in this range, for this range like all. Dot is the median value, and as you proceed further, the number of bills are increasing. Values is more, but number of bills are increasing. Count is not much. Highest count are there between 10 to 20 for this, and then 20 to 30 is a more minimum is there. Low are there. Then 30 to 40 again somewhat lower. Then 40 to 50 again somewhat lower. Then 50 to 60 only on Saturday and Sunday. Maximum bills are there. Fine. So violin plot is a combination of box and KD plots are that we can see by this method. Fine. So the quartile and the whisker values that we can see on this plot are shown inside it. The very small box is there. You can see this one. Dot is mentioned. These are the ranges here. Okay, fine. That we can see. So as the violin plot uses KD, the wider portion of violin indicate the higher density, and then the narrow region represent the relatively low density of that data on the violin plot. Fine. And the interquartile range, which is 0 to 25, 50, 75, they are present in the box plot. Higher density portion of KD falling the same region of the category in the violin plot. Both are there. Fine. That's what common idea is there. Now, under it, if I want to have a categorical variable, now I have to separate it. I want to separate this. See, let's again focus on one more variable I'll add. According to male and female, according to sex, male and female, I want the violin plot on different days. Okay, violin plot on different days. So in this data, whatever data, the bill paid by male or female, how it is there, that I can add. So I can add a parameter here called as u, just like in box plot we have seen. It is sex. Now see this. So male are represented by blue color and female are by orange color here. Just represent on Friday you can see maximum bills are played by female. Sorry, maximum amount is played by amount is paid by the male, but maximum bills are played by female. Count here. You can just see this one. Here it's not that much higher, means the male has not paid the bill at more at this particular 10 to 20 on Friday, but female has played maximum here. The density is higher, but highest bill is here. Highest bills are played by the male on Saturday here. Fine. So there also view is possible. That's how we can add the entries, and accordingly the data can be separated. The violin plot with the view that we can use. So what the plots are there. Okay, so this is what extensions are present available. Now let's go for another extension of the bar plot. Bar plot we have seen in Matplotlib, and let's see the abilities of the bar plot given in the Seaborn. So bar plot shows the relation between categorical variable and continuous variable. Again, categorical variable on the x-axis, continuous variable on the y-axis. Fine. The data is represented in a rectangular bars where the length of bar represents the portion of the data in the category, and then the bar plot represents the estimate of central tendency. Now for this data set, for this graph onwards, I'll be changing a data set now. My data set is Titanic survival data set that I'll be using here. So let's go for another data set now. I'll explain data set meaning first and then we'll go for identifying. df is equal to sns dot load data set Titanic. You might be knowing it, Titanic tragedy. So it's a data set of the person who were traveling in the Titanic. Okay, we're traveling in the Titanic. And when the accident was happened, few people have survived and few are not. Yesterday I've shown about this data set also, direct downloading online. So these are the survived. The people is survived or not. So 0 is survived, 1 is not survived. Here. And its information is mentioned there. What is that? Passenger class, is sex, age, single child, something is there. Sparge, fare, embarked, class, gender, like all they are mentioned here in it. In the Titanic survival data set. Okay, so those who have survived, actually survived output variable here, whether yes or no, survived or not, based on the class, sex, age, okay, and many more often different kind of parameter that we can see. Fine. Okay, and now we'll be using this data set to show me the bars. Let's go for the bar plot for this. And it's a very interesting bar plot that we can plot over here. Very interesting bar plot that I can plot. So I want to plot male or female sex against the survived, whether, so that we will do with the help of the bar plot. Let's see first one by one. I'll just check first x against y. So survived is the output variable and sex is the input variable. That is your data on the x-axis. Now see this one. SNS dot bar plot on x-axis will be having the input as sex, and on y-axis will be having the survived. Oh, sorry, data frame is remaining. Data is equal to df. Now see this. Survived. Maximum males are survived. Sorry, female are survived. We can check it out. Males are almost 20% and 80% female are there who have survived into Titanic tragedy. Check it. Fine. Simple bar plotting. They are shown. Even I have not given the color. Can make the color combinations also. Now what I want, under the male, how many people are there from first class, from second class, and third class? That is what class is mentioned here. You can see class 1, 2, and 3. One class, first class, second class, third class. So can I make it? Yes, I can apply the view here. Now see, add hue. Hue is class. Now see this. Multiple bar plot in single instance. I just have shown that. Multiple bar plot on single plane that we can see here. Check this. So in male, again, 3 categories are there. First class, this is the first class. You can see legend automatically have come. First class, then second class, and then the third class in male. And in female, okay, how many are there? So in first class survival, second class survival, third class. See, some observations are there. The maximum number of female are survived, means 80% female are survived in this data, in Titanic tragedies. And only 20% were the male out of all survived people and person present in it. And under it also, you can observe that the people who were traveling from first class, they are maximum survived. Male also, female also. Okay, you can check it. The highest bar in the first class, then lower one is second class, and the lowest is the third class. Like this, survivals are there. So multiple bars we can plot with this view. So we are having 2 categorical variable here. 2 categorical variable. Sorry, all 3 categorical variable actually. Sex is categorical variable where we have male and female categories. Survival also categorical variable where you have 0 and 1 categories, and view is also categorical variable where you have the first class, second class, and third class as the variable present here. Fine. Okay, getting this. This is how the bar plot is there. So you can have a bar of it. Now next one. Next is the count plot. See, I'm having a data with me, and in this data, which element is present for how many number of times I want to show. Okay, I want to show that one. Which element is present for how many number of times. Okay, so that we can show using a count plot. Let's see, I just have to apply the class here as the x parameter there. So I want to make use of I want to identify the count. How many people are survived from first class, how many are from second class, and how many are for third class. So we can use a count plot for this. So let's see, SNS dot. This is very commonly used. I generally use it for classification algorithms. When classification algorithm output variables categorical, and you have to check that whether data is balanced or not. Data is balanced or not. You can identify using this count plot. So let's see that is balanced or not. Class, okay, and from the data is TF. Now see, how many first class are there? See, almost 200. Second class are almost 180, and third class more, maximum number of element. Okay, survived or not is not the case there. Actual people who are traveling from it, they are given. Survived or not, that's not mentioned there. Survived, that we have seen above. So though maximum number of people are traveling in third class, they are not survived much. First class are less, but survived percentage is more present there. See the count: first class, second class, and third class. How many people are there that we can compare? So generally, there's a concept called as imbalanced data set. When you apply machine learning, the data should be equal. Means for every class, data should be equal. Every class data should be equal. See, I want to show the equal data set here. What is equal data set? See the data set that we have used, iris. Iris is the equal data set actually. See, I'll just show you again. df is equal to pd dot read. Sorry. We'll use direct data set from SNS. Iris. In iris data set, we have output variable as a class. Species, sorry. And I want to show the species of it. 150 entries are there, 3 species are there. And I want to show the balance of all the classes. How many entries for first class, second class, and third class. So that a perfect balanced classification machine learning algorithm can be created. So to do this one, let's see this count plot for df of species. This is called as balance. Setosa 50, versicolor 50, virginica 50. This is how can do balance. When the data is balanced, then only a classification algorithm or machine learning algorithm perfectly can do. So having high possibility that classifier machine learning model it creates, it is perfect. So to visualize it, we are using count plot for this. This is how the count plot can be created, can be used. And if you want to see here, I have to apply the heat map for this case. I'll use this dataset, Titan dataset now. And we can see different colors. I want to apply the heat map. So let's use palette, and let's use greens. Oh, greens are not there. Blues. Oh, something is missing. Just a minute. Sorry. Wait a minute. So it's a case sensitive actually. Yes, see this. Where high amount of values are there, blues palette is used. So it will show the data in heat map fashion. First is somewhat less, then second, then third. Greens can also be shown. Okay, so this is what the idea of count plot is there that we can use. And one more thing to note, maybe in machine learning algorithm we require that. I want to use this count in the number format, in the numerical format. So to do this one, Python contains one library called as collection library, by which you can see the count. Here counts are not shown. Okay, here these counts are not shown, remember. Check this. Only show the bars where high amount of count, lower, lowest are there. That's only shown there. But if I want to show actual count, so there's a collection library in Python by which you can use it. See, from collections, I'll import the counters. Counter is a class. And in the counter, you have to pass that parameter as input, like what I want, class, correct? So counter df of class, yes, class. You can check this now. For first class, third class, 491 entries are there. First class, 216 are there. And for second class, 184 entries are there. This is the use of the counter class. With the counter class, we can identify the count. And this is showing in the dictionary format almost. See, counter. And visualization, count plot. Counter used to print the data in the numerical fashion, in the number fashion here, like this. This method that we are going to use here in the count plot method here. Fine, count plot. Okay. Okay, let's go with another interesting kind of plots called as the point plot. Point plot serves the same as a bar plot, but in the different style. They uses a line and points. Rather than a full bar, the value of estimate is represented by a point at a certain height on the other axis. Certain height on the other axis. So let's have sex against survived. What we are seen there in the bar plot, I'll show you the sex against the survived point plots. We'll get an idea about the same. So let's see. SNS dot point plot. X-axis will have the sex, y-axis will have survived, and data is data frame df. Now see this. Check it. So male are this, and this is female. Direct point is shown, and they're connected by a line. So you can find a deviation. Male are very less and female are very much higher, as you can find point plot. And for this plot also, it's possible to apply a category. That is what we call as hue. Hue can be applied. So let's apply the hue here. Here's class. See, for first class, second class, and third class. So in all classes, female are more survived than the male. And in case of classes also, first class are more survived than the other classes. Check, point class. So this is an specially created class from the bar plot, just like a bar we are having. So point plot can also be used. Okay. So this is always preferable to use long form or tidy data sets there. Long data sets or tidy data sets are present that we can use it. But times when we are left with no options, rather than use a wide form data set, some functions can also be applied to wide form data in a variety of formats, including pandas data frame or two-dimensional numpy array. Both can be applied to create this data set in this particular format. Okay. Okay, so this is the way that we use over here, and many more abilities are possible. Now let's see one small applications of the box plot here, how it's actually used. I can check the orientation, and the value of every parameter can be seen. Okay, if I want to use all the parameter inside the plot and their distribution of the data, then I can use a box plot in another way in the point format data. So let's see this one, how to use it. So let's see bns sns dot box plot. Sorry, box is different. Box plot. So that it contains the first parameter. Can use data frame, and the orientation I can apply. So directly I can apply this one also. See this. Sorry. This is not different. Data is different. There variations are there. Variations are not present in data frame of iris actually. So I'll read that. Sorry, SNS dot load data set, and I'll use iris and see this. Now you can observe the variations. For sepal length, the length is this. All values are lies within this range. So I am not specified what is x and y. Directly apply data set. Then it's checking. Now sepal width will be like this. Petal length is this. Petal width is this. Not specially for a category of species. I directly applied it and I got that particular ranges. So same idea of box plot is used over here. But for all the columns, the combination is shown. Even one more thing, I can change orientation also. I don't want that vertical orientation. I want a horizontal orientation. So I can use orient method here. Orient. Sorry, not this here. orient is equal to horizontal. Now see, horizontal orientation is there that you can find. Okay. So this method by which you can see all of these context variable in single point of data that we can use to perform operations here by the particular method. That's what we are seeing here. Okay. One last topic, linear relationship. Many plots are there, but that are becoming complex and more complex there. I have told about the linear relationship. So most of the time we use a data set that contain multiple quantitative variable to goal to analyze, often related to those variable which every other regression lines are there. Maybe if you're knowing or not knowing, maybe if you learn that in future, linear regression, when one variable is connected to another variable linearly, we can see observe this dot linearity are present there. So I want to have a plot of it directly with linear regression. The plot can be done. What's the extension, averaging lines, everything that we can see. So while building this regression model, we often check the multi collinearity, one output variable and multiple input variable, that we can call multi-collinearity, where we have to see the correlation between the combination of context variable, and we'll take necessary action to remove the collinearity if it is existing there. That's what we can do. There are two different functions which are applied. They are called as REG plot, that is regression plot, and second is LM plot. LM plot means it is linear model plot. Two different plots are present here which we want to perform the operations with. So both almost works in the same way, but let's talk about this, how to plot that data. So what I want, let's take the data set of tips, and there I'll show you total bill against the tip, total bill against the tip. On x-axis I'll have total bill, and or let's use some different data set. I'll show you that one. I'm having a data set with me, so it's very easy to understand and perform the operation. So in future, if you are using linear regression, this method will show you the correct idea of using this data. So this is a data set I'm present with me. PD dot read CSV. I'll show the data set. It contains salary information actually. Sorry. Import pandas as PD. Then read it, and then you can print this. This is what so experience and salary of the persons are given for different employees. Uh, General observation is that as experience increases, salary also increases. Okay, maybe from last 2 years not increasing, but don't worry about it. Correct idea is that experience is increasing, salary is also increasing. Correct. So it's a problem of linearity. It's a linear regression, and I want to have a plot of it. Plot and averaging line means where the standard line is present, the line of best fit I want to show. So to do this one, I'll be making use of this particular method, the function which we call as the REG plot, or we'll be making use of the LM plot. Okay, let's see that. So this data I'm having, hopefully you can use, yes, experience and salary are incrementing actually by each other. So first of all, I'll show this data with the help of matplotlib, and then we'll go to check the same data with the help of the Seaborn. Okay. Oh, sorry, mat. And see this plt dot scatter df of, on y-axis we are having years experience, and on x-axis we have salary. See this is actual data set, correct, which is shown by the scatter plot of the matplotlib. You can see experience again the salary, data frame I taken, and then we have seen this one done. And now I will show this using the C1 library. You can see, you can observe that experience increases, salary also increasing. So it's a 45-degree plot that we are, line that we are getting over here. It contains some slope and the intercept also. Maybe if you're doing linear regression, it's possible there. Now see, SNS dot regression plot. X-axis we have df of years experience. Okay. On y-axis we'll have df of salary, and data, oh, directly if it is given then also it's okay. Check this. What is done? It has shown the dot and shown the averaging line also. Averaging line also. See it. Which we require a linear regression function to plot it. In scikit-learn, linear regression class is there, and in SciPy, scientific Python, linear regress function is there, which is used to do this task mathematically, building a mathematical model. But here for graphical model, I can directly apply the RAG plot. Original data is shown. You can compare that with his. Original data is this, but it shows averaging line also. And above that, we can see residual error. So residual error present above. Error. The scope of the error is there that can be seen by this. So averaging line that we can find, and we can show that now experience and salary are connected to each other linearly by this method. Okay, this is the first method, and second is the linear model plot, LM plot, that we can use. So RAG plot, I use LM plot here. Oh, what's missing? Oh. So LM plot we require the data frame. So lot many functions, lot many things to remember. So x-axis we have experience, y-axis we have salary, and data we'll be taking SDF. Same idea is used here, linear regression, linear model, but it's two-dimensional plane shown there. In first case, we have the complete rectangle. This is linear model plot. Same idea is there. So basically, to model or to show the linear regression or the linearity between two different kind of variables, co-linearity between them. So we'll be making use of this RAG plot or the LM plot very, very common, very, very specially. So this is what the common ideas are there. Many useful graphs, many are there. Actually, Seaborn is not limited with that. And even the Matplotlib also limited with this, not limited with the same. Lot many different ideas are present that we can use. I'll show one website here. Just a minute. Python Graph Gallery, and let's take an overview of all of this kind of plots that we can see. So this is your graph. I'll just go to Python Graph Gallery. There we can have a lot many different kind of the graphs present. It's taking time. Yes. See, and just searching in Google Python Graph Gallery. This is official website of Python Graph Gallery, python-graph-gallery.com, and you can see different kind of graphs present. So Matplotlib, Seaborn, and Plotly, these libraries are presented here. You can see kind of graphs here on this side. Okay, check this. And here below, different kind of plots can be seen. See, for data distribution, you can see violin plot, density plot, histogram, box plot, ridge lines. Correlation, scatter plot, heat map, correlation, correlogram, bubble, connected scatter, 2D density plots. Here bar plot, spider plot, word cloud, parallel, lollipop. See what name are there. Part of a whole. This is a tree map. See, tree map is there. Dendrogram, hierarchical clustering using that. See a donut. Take anything. For example, I want to visualize this donut and clicking on that. So you will get the code of it below. See, donut. Check it. Matplotlib, and how to plot that, that's also shown over here. Donut plot. Okay. And many more. Donut with Matplotlib, how it is visible, as we can see. If I want this, just click on that, we'll get the code for the same. So all kind of graphs are present on this particular site, pythongraphgallery.com. So if you are interested to work ahead with visualization, Python Graph Gallery is one of the good website that we can use here with it. Fine. So that's from my side. Any doubts or questions are there? So this is open for you. Okay, the Seaborn and Matplotlib visualization that we have seen practically. If any questions, so you can ask. Thank you. Just a minute. I'll just go through the chat box. Okay.
Yes, participant, any questions you can put into the chat box.
Okay, I got one question in the chat box. Which graphical plot is giving more accurate results? See, accuracy is not the part of any kind of graph there. Remember, it depends upon kind of data and kind of insight that you want. There is no any accuracy kind of concept. Remember, depend. If you are going to use this data to show bar plot is also accurate, pie plot is also accurate, but depend what output you expect from that. Accuracy is not the part. You cannot identify the accuracy of any kind of the plot there.
Yes. Any questions, further questions, participants? If you want to share your views, you can unmute yourself and you can share. Okay. So it's a very nice session, Kotesh sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hope those are doing work on Python and such kind of things. They are really helpful.
Yeah. I'll share the presentation and notebook files also with you, so you just can share with the participants.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bharat sir is there? Bharat sir?
Yes, sir. I mean.
Yes. So is there any question? Birari sir, any suggestion? Yeah, Santosh Kumar sir, please unmute yourself and you can ask. Yes, yes, Kumar sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's a nice session, sir. Sir, kindly possible you just send that code so that we will try with our.
Yeah. I have already told to Sushant sir that I will share the presentation and notebook files also with him.
Okay.
So he will share with you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, Santosh sir, we'll provide all the kind of materials to you at the end of the sessions.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, I think no further questions. So I request our Professor Bharat Devare sir to give a vote of thanks to Tushar Kotesh sir. Bharat sir, please.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you, Kotesh sir. This was a really nice and absorbing session. I hope all the participants cleared the doubt about the graph using Python. So on behalf of Sandeep Foundation, Sandeep Institute of Engineering and Management, Nashik, myself, Professor Bharat Devare, and our team would like to take this opportunity to express our heartfelt thanks to you for serving your time for this STTP. We appreciate that you have spent your valuable time and effort during this event. The sessions were live, engaging, provoking, and educative. It was enjoyed by one and all participants. It was a privilege to have you, sir. Again, thank you so much for your contribution, time, and effort to the success of this STTP. And we hope your cooperation in the near future as well. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your all observing sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Kutesh, sir.
Thank you, Kutesh sir. We hope the same cooperation in the future events also.
Yeah, obviously, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All the participants are requested to fill the attendance form. So as per the ICT norms, we required more than 70% attendance. So try to attend all the sessions and fill the forms regularly. Okay, so we can convey all the certificates to all of you. Okay. So thank you all. So don't miss the last session also. So last sessions are delivering by Dr. S.T. Gande sir on machine learning. So hope we all are meet again at 3 p.m. sharply. Okay. So thank you all. Have a tea. Okay.